What's happening, my fellow ballers? Farno here. And recently, I've been watching the Women's World Cup. I don't know if you lot have been watching it as well. But it's making me think about the disparity between women, the men and the women's game in football. Because there's quite a gap in a lot of senses between both of the games. The main thing being the physical side of the game. So we're talking about the actual athletic side of the game, the athleticism that you need to play football. Men are always going to be more athletic than women. Men's bodies can grow bigger, they can jump higher, they can jump longer, they can run faster. Pretty much any athletic ability which you can push yourself, men can push further than women. But that's not a slight on women, it's just the way the world is. And because of that fact, it basically means that the men's game, you can get to higher extremes. And obviously you can play the faster football, you can hit the harder shot, you can jump and get the better header on the ball, you can be more physical, like there's more physical battles. So that's the main thing I see when I'm watching the men's v the women's game, especially just watching this Women's World Cup. You see just the build-up play slower, just everything's basically just that tiny bit slower. So you've got that disparity in the athletic level, and because of that, not as many people tune into the game. So there's not much interest worldwide into watching the women's game. Like for example, I will watch Men's World Cup. I will watch every single game. At the Women's World Cup, I've tried to catch most of the games, but I've only probably seen about half of them. But because of that lack of interest, there's obviously going to be a lot less money pumped into the game. And this goes on to my next point, is the disparity in pay is quite shocking. It's quite appalling. Like, it's getting a bit better, but, I mean, women were only paid, like, part-time wages until about 10 years ago. I mean, they were only doing it part-time, so they weren't even professional. But recently, they're getting more money, but it's still the disparity in pay. I mean, see, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm pretty sure there won't be one woman on this planet who's on 50 grand a year. Not at all. I mean, then you get people like, Wayne Rooney's probably on about 300 or something. Messi is on 300 and something. Ronaldo, 300 and something a week. So there's massive disparity levels there in football in terms of pay. And then you look at other sports, and other sports pay the women in the same amount. So like tennis, for example. Even though women actually do less on the tennis court, they play less sets, they play best of 3, not best of 5, they still get the same amount of money. Whereas in football, the disparity is massive, absolutely massive. So that's another reason why the women aren't getting as high up as they can, because there's not as much money being pumped into their game. So in terms of women's football, that disparity between ability in terms of athletic ability from the best woman to the best man, or the average woman to the average man. And then because of that, the lack of interest, and then because of that, you're not getting as much money pumped into your game. That's where the women's game is lagging behind massively, in my opinion. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on the matter as well, guys. So just let me know, do you think the women's game is as good as the men's? If not, why isn't it as good as the men's? If you want to, jot a comment below, hit me up. And as always, thanks for liking and watching this video, and I hope to catch you soon. And hit that sub button before you leave. Peace.